Okay. Well, so with that, since we're starting recording now, I will say hello, everybody. Welcome to the third Spinitron webinar. We're going to be talking about all the ways you can use Spinitron integrated into your website and other web properties that you might have. My name is David. I work with Ava and Tom doing a lot of things on the music industry side of things. We have Spinitron Search, but you all here probably know Tom, who is our head developer and engineer, and Ava, who is probably the person you've talked to directly if you are at a station. So we'll be talking, like I said, about all things related to how you can use our data and how you can use Spinitron on your websites. A lot of you have shared questions ahead of time, so we're going to be going through a lot of those. We're going to be integrating them into what Tom is talking about today as we go through a bit of show and tell of how we can do some great things together on your websites. But if you do have any question during the call, feel free to put it in the chat. We're open conversation here, so please feel free to also just shout it out if there's a moment. We will also leave it at the end, probably have some questions if you'd like, some time for questions outright. But yeah, again, before we get off, I'll just say if you ever need to get in contact with us, spinitron.com, you can check us out. All of our phone numbers and email addresses are there. Tom and Ava especially are, one call away, one email away from any questions you might have. So as we get into it, know that this isn't the only time you can ask questions. We are an open book and always want to help make sure your station's really using Spinitron to the fullest. That's why we're here today. But yeah, we will be putting this on our forums.spinitron.com, I believe. Tom, correct?
It'll probably end up on YouTube. The
YouTube.
video will end up on YouTube, and then we'll post that as soon as it's up there. We can post it on our forum too.
Yeah. So with that, I think that's my spiel. Tom and Ava, take it away.
Yeah. Thank you, David. I had a question for you. Are people able to unmute themselves at any time? They are. Okay, so you don't
be
need
able
to do
to.
that for them. So please feel free to interrupt with your voice. If you throw something in the chat, we'll try to keep an eye on that. But
I will keep an eye on the chat.
So either way you prefer. The questions that were put to us during when you were signing up for this, I've got those in front of me, so I can try to address those as we go along. But anything else that you think of as we go along, or that you didn't mention in advance, you can just use your judgment to decide whether or not you want to interrupt or just leave it to the end or forget about it. It's up to you. So web integration is the general heading under which a lot of technologies are used, but basically it means you got a website, it's got your brand on it, it's got your domain name on it. So it's HV, WXYZ .org, right? Whatever it is, that's your stuff. Now, Spinitron's attitude has always been right from the start. This is your data. We're a service provider. We're not trying to steal your stuff so that we can make an awful lot of money off of it. You just pay us to provide a service. Your stuff should be on your website. It should have your brands on it, your look and feel, fonts, colors, arrangement, and all that kind of stuff. That is not necessarily the easiest thing to accomplish, but we'll sort of show some of the tricks that go around this. Now, for the further thing that I wanted to mention, this question of web integration is probably the biggest area of customer support that I do. Ava does a little bit too, but basically we have to do this to some extent on a station-by-station basis. You've got your website. Your people have got more or less understanding of how our stuff works, how your stuff works, and technically they can range from extremely advanced to not even knowing how to log on to WordPress, that kind of thing. It's all over the place. So it all has to be personalized. And it's just a standard part of the service we provide that you can come to us and we'll work through it. At some point, we have to hand over to you. because we're not going to do your web integration as a contractor for you. Now, a lot of this stuff can be done in-house, but some people hire contractors to do their web integration for them, or a bit of both. You know, that's all fine. But so basically, what we're doing is sort of some general training here, where I introduce some general topics. You know, it's more sort of like the broad tutorial, but then we get into specific individual training for your developers, and that's a one-to-one process that we'll take you through at their appropriate time when you come to us with the right people, and once you've got a notion of what you need to do. The other thing I want to say as an introduction is this presentation is appropriate for technical people as well as managers. So if you're an admin and you don't consider yourself technical, you're not going to type any HTTP, it doesn't matter. This is still important to understand what can be done with web integration, and to see sort of like the levels of technical sophistication that's involved in accomplishing that. Because you might find actually you are capable of doing the simpler stuff. It's not that hard. Maybe you want to even learn how to do it. So let's give it a go. I'll start sharing my screen. This one, share. Okay, that's not what I wanted to start with. Web page. So what I actually wanted to start with was Spinitron. So we'll just do a search on this, a web integration. And let's hope that so it comes up on the user forum. That's good. So we could go there. But it also, the next one, I'm using DuckDuckGo here. No, I'm going to ignore your chat on. This is a collection of stuff that we've had. Look at this. It's been going there for 10 years in this location. And this is a collection of code on GitHub, which is a place where you can go and store code for the to share, where you can share code. But it's also there as a website. So basically the GitHub is the code for this website. So you can go and inspect every one of these pages and see the actual code that's representing them. So I want to show you what we've got in terms of widgets here. We've got a now playing widget. You might want to put the now playing song or the now playing 5 songs or however many it is you choose on your website. This shows you how to do it. What's the current show on Spinitron? All right. What's the current playlist rather? What are the upcoming shows on Spinitron? These are all widgets and things that you can put onto a website.
What's the difference between a widget and iframe?
I'll get to that. I'll get to that shortly. So I actually started in the wrong place. I should have gone. You remember I did this search, Spinitron Web Integration. Remember that search? The first one here is the user forum page. And you can, I'm showing you it from a search because I want you to be able to navigate to these resources on your own without having to save a bookmark or whatever. You should be able to find these on your own. So if you just go to the Spinitron forum and then you look in the guides, you'll find it listed there. Web customization. Oh, it's called web customization here, except I call it web integration, whatever. No, it's not. It's called web customization. That's guides, Ava. What's going on here? You've done something. Web integration. It is called web integration. Can you see that halfway down there? Right. So the way to navigate here, you can go to the forum, guides, web integration. Now in here, we have this web page has all the links to all the resources, the technical and training resources and reference material that we have, apart from the link to the recording of this web presentation, which hasn't been made yet. And we have a number of techniques for web integration. Ava already mentioned two of them, widgets and iframes. So a widget is a little bit of magic HTML code that you can drop into a web page, and it usually works, and you can produce the now playing. You can produce the current playlist.
I have an update on this racist here. He's been identified as Aiden.
Someone need. Thank you.
Hi, Todd. He's been identified as a racist. All right. Well, who hasn't? So a JavaScript widget, you can drop that a little bit of code into a web page, and this is the sort of the simplest from the point of view of somebody who's not really a web developer. This is the simplest way of getting started. You can just modify an existing web page to add these things, and oftentimes it works well enough with really just 3 minutes work. Iframes are a little, there's a little bit more to pay attention to, but are also very, very easy for somebody who's not really an advanced web developer. And I'll show you how these can be made to work. Then there's another technique that we use called a custom layout, which is basically a way of making Spinitron look like your website, so that you can use entire Spinitron pages and navigate from your website to those and back again. And nobody's going to notice that they've left your website and come to Spinitron, come back again. So I'll show you that magic trick soon. That's quite good fun. And then there's, for the more technically, so you need to write computer programs to use the API. The API means Application Programmers Interface, and it's a way of querying Spinitron's database across the network, so you can get data back, and then you can format that exactly how you want, right? And that's the most powerful and flexible way. You can, whatever's in Spinitron's public web pages, you can present that however you want with the API. So I'll quickly demonstrate that as well, or show you an example. So let's get started with the iframes. Now, we have another website here called testradio.org. Okay, testradio.org.
Which link did you?
So which one?
Which link you? There was a link here on the
custom page layout. Takes you there.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it didn't say here. I could edit this page to say testradio.org. So, but that's where it goes. Right. So I can click this link, custom page layout, and I ended up on testradio.org. Now, testradio.org is a standalone website. It is, again, I think, on GitHub, and you can view the source for this page. So the entire website consists of only these it consists of only these two files. So there's index.html, the styles page, that's all you need. So the style sheet, CSS style sheet, and that's all you need for this web page. However, it looks relatively sophisticated, doesn't it? We've got live data from Spinitron. We've got the on-air song. This is a widget, and we can even go there and look at that. It still looks like testradio.org. Magic. How did that all happen? I can go to the upcoming shows. So let's see, folk psychology webpage, right? So there's this is actually the Spinitron website. So these two things right here are widgets.
Covering your mouth. Can't hear you properly.
Okay. Thank you. So let's look at a widget. The widgets are documented in this. When I say widget, I mean a JavaScript widget. So the widgets are documented in, let's go and see. If I go back, I'll end up on the web integration, right? That's what I want to go back to. This page is a little slow. I should have had that in a different tab. So widgets. let's go and have a look at the widgets. The following are tutorial guides for each technique. Let's go to look at the widgets here. All right, that's not what I wanted. Scroll, scroll, scroll. Widgets, widgets. Well, why isn't it taking me to the thing? All right, this will do. So I follow that link, and this is what the now playing widget. So this is in fact the same widget that that's used for on testradio.org for the now playing. Let's do a demo of this one. So, oh no, I don't want to go there yet. So I took a where was it? I thought, right, Home Radio has been with us for a long time, and they've got a lovely website. Looks like this, and if you make it narrow, like you're on a phone, it looks like that. You know, all that stuff. So if I want to make a mock-up of this website, I can work like this. Actually, do I want to do it like this? Yeah, why not? Tom needs to think for just a second here. All right. So first of all, I'm going to go to here. Wasn't quite ready. So give me a second. All right. Now we're going to go back over here. So I'm using Firefox here. So I'm going to use the Control U to show the page source. Okay. This is the page source for this website. I'm just going to select all with Control A, select copy with Control C, and go over to my web browser, to my editor here. I'll take a new document, call it index.html, paste it in there, and save that. And then I start my local web browser. If you're doing stuff, you're having a local, sorry, not a local web server. If you're if you're doing development, it's handy to have a local web server. Makes things a lot easier. A lot of editors, code editors as well, have that functionality built in, so you can just preview your page as well. But this is the way I'm doing it. So I need to go to localhost 99. Oh, Ava's pointing out that I spelled it wrong. Did anybody else notice? Well done, Ava.
Can't see it. It's too small.
Oh, is it? How about this? Does that help?
Can't hear you.
I'm going to assume so.
That's better.
Yeah. Okay. And I'll try to do that here as well. Okay. You don't really need to see that page though. Now I'm going to go to open a tab and go to my http:// it's not an HTTPS server, but 127 is my local host, 991. Okay, so this is now the web page as that's being served from my local web server right here, and you can actually see the traffic on the server there, right? If I make some, oh, that's interesting. Okay. Now I'm going to modify it by adding a widget. So we need to find a place to add a widget. Let's add a widget just directly under the heading $50 a month. So if I go in here and do dollar, and I search in the code for $50/. All right, let's just assume that that's a good place to go. All right, so I'm going to add some text here. Maybe this shows up if I just do that. It's not proper HTML, but probably work. Didn't work. Home radios. Home radio is a project of, that's not what I want. I'm just looking for a location. Community show sponsorship. I'm just looking to find a location to put this in. Try this location, right? I'll save that file, reload. Okay, that's close enough, isn't it? Right, we'll put a widget in there. So I go back to the page where we have the tutorial that says what to do. Copy and paste this code right here. Copy, paste it in that location. And WOHM, right? That's the site. And all I did was I pasted these two lines. Can you see that? These two lines of code, a div, and then there's a JavaScript that loads the widget into the div. So we go back to the page that had the where is it? This one. Sorry, I'm confusing with the tabs here. So with a bit of luck, we've now got a widget that shows up, and yeah, we've got the most recent spin from radio. It says it was 408. Maybe they've got some. Maybe it's a very long song, or they've got some something else happening since then. If I click on that, it goes to Spinitron. So the link actually works, but there is stuff we can do about that if we want to get a bit more sophisticated. So that's a widget. All right, it's something that almost anyone can handle, and you know it's not very flexible in what you get. You get what you get, but you can change the styles on it. You can add to the style sheet on this page. You can add styles that will control how it looks. You can remove the things like the ISRC. You can remove fields that you're not using. You can remove the if we look at this carefully with the web inspector, you can look through here and you'll find that there's a composer names. You might not want to display the composer names, things like that. And there's a good deal of customization you can do just by modifying or adding style rules just for the widget. I wanted to point out that the man, I can't keep my tabs in order, can I? Forum.spinitron.com. Remember how to navigate there. Let's do it. It's training, we'll just do it over again. We go to the guides, web integration. A lot of this page actually explains how you can add style rules to change how widgets look. Right? You can. These are technical details that you can read in that page. So moving on, what does an iframe buy you that a widget doesn't? Well, you can put any web page into an iframe. We provide widgets for one, the now playing, which can be one spin or up to a few spins. We can do, it's Lucy's dinner time, so she's going to pester us for a while. We can do the current playlist. We can do the upcoming shows. These are all things that you might want to have displayed on maybe your front page or one of your most accessible pages on your website. Beyond that, if you want something more sophisticated, then you can go to putting entire Spinitron. So if you want the calendar, for example, the calendar has to go into an iframe. We can't do that in a widget. It just involves too much interaction and complexity. So let's do that. Let's put a calendar on another page from Ohm Radio. I did this earlier to save myself the trouble of putting you through it because it was a little bit more complicated. So where is it? Where's the? No, that's not it either.
Schedule.
What I want is the V2 web integration. Where do we have widgets? Fine. Let's go to iframes, and example web pages. That's what I wanted. That's the page I want. So I keep repeating how to navigate to these things. So here's the instructions on how to put a program schedule into an iframe on one of your web pages. So this is what you need. Right now, an iframe is carving out a rectangle on a web page and saying, let's put another entire web page into it. And if that other entire web page is suitable, you know, in terms of its content, and if it's formatted appropriately, it can look all right. And it's interactive. I can navigate inside this rectangle. So there's an invisible rectangle here that contains this calendar. This website is not spinitron.com. This is a static web page on GitHub. But this is a Spinitron web page loaded from spinitron.com. So let's navigate. Yeah, it works. You can navigate. But we can also do things like interact with the calendar itself, like this. We can go back in time, look at past playlists, stuff like that. So you can do more with us. But yes, it is like a portal. It's a rectangle you carve out of one big web page. You've got a smaller box on it, and in that box is another web page into it with an independent navigation context.
To this, we had a question on the registration from KCSB that if you can customize it.
Yes, you absolutely can. Let's come to that in just a moment. Once we've done the demo. So I took this same Home Radio webpage. So there's their homepage, and I went to what Donate, was it? No, it wasn't there.
Programming.
Which one was it? No, it wasn't. Oh, I'm going to use the back button. Memberships and marketing, show sponsorship. I used their show sponsorship page just to find a web page that I can copy and paste. Right, and then I did the naughty, and I made some modifications earlier. But I'll try to show you what it is that I modified. To make this work, I'm going to rename these files so that I've got index.html is the one that I prepared earlier. So we've got a what? So if you remember, here's the code that that's in the instructions. Here's the instructions. This is the web page for how to put a schedule into an iframe on Spinitron. And there's your instructions. Put this on your web page. And that will create an iframe. If you do only that, then you'll get, let's see, does this work? Save. Then you'll get a page that looks like, so where's our demo? That's Home Radio. That should do the job. Then you'll get a web page that looks like that. Okay, now here's what an iframe looks like in Firefox when you don't apply any style rules. Well, the box is a bit too small. So we need to make the box bigger, and maybe we want to do some other things to the formatting of it. So what I did was I simply added directly above here these style rules. Now, you can only change the styles of the box on this web page. If you want to change the appearance of what goes into the iframe, we have to do that in Spinitron. We'll come to that in just a moment. But first, we need to get the box a bit bigger. So what I did was I set its width to 120% of its bounding box size. I'm being a bit naughty there, stealing a little bit of extra space. I gave it a certain height, 70 reset M's. Read about what that unit means, but it's basically it's proportionate to the size of the. Never mind. You can go and read about that. I gave it I restyled the border a bit and I gave it a white background color so that we can see the box stand out a bit from its own background. And then because this is 120%, I moved it left a little bit. But if you get into CSS, you'll learn these tricks fairly quickly. So what does that look like now? So there you see I made it wider. It's actually 120% of its bounding box size, which is just a little bit narrower. 70 Ms on this web page ends up looking about that size. You can scroll inside the iframe, and we've got a scroll also for the whole page itself. This is an extra complexity that most users will be able to deal with. It's kind of unavoidable. The alternative is you make the box for the calendar so big that this scroll disappears. And that can be done, for example, if we say that this should be, let's say, 150 reps. That should probably do it. Let's reload that page now. Let's do the week view. But you can end up with blank space at the bottom. So it's kind of choose your poison. But that's how we style the box. Now, if you want to change the appearance of the web page, of the elements inside of here, let's say I want these boxes to not be green and these ones to not be blue, then I have to do that in Spinitron itself. So I need to log into Spinitron as an admin. Well, I'm already logged in as a super admin, but I was doing some support from KBEM earlier. Now I need to, this is all stuff that you don't get because I'm a super admin. I own the whole of Spinitron. So we're doing what WOHM, right? So let's become WOHM. So I'm now adminning WOHM. In the station settings, web customization, there's a style sheet that you can put in here. Now, these styles will be added to every public page that Spinitron serves. They're, if you put them in there, they will appear on. So if I go to spinitron.com,
basically you're modifying our server
WOHM
of the station.
Right. Well, we're modifying the pages that come out of WOHM. Now, if you notice, it doesn't say WOHM at the top. Right? That's because they've got a style rule that says that works like that. If we comment that line out just briefly, I'm just going to do this very briefly, so that then the style header comes out. Now, it's possible to have this.
If you want, you can leave it like that. Like, I like that so much better, and I don't know that I'm going to be able to redo this, so you're welcome to leave it that way.
Okay.
Thank you.
But it will show up in the.
But it's going to show up on WOHM if you've got a what do you call that? An iframe. So if we're going not the schedule iframe, but if we do an iframe for anything else, and put a web page, a Spinitron web page in there.
Click on that.
So, for example, this one, that's why you get rid of that, right? Because you've already got your branding, station branding up at the top of this page. You don't need it again in your iframe.
Oh, I see.
Right? So that's why people will often do this.
So there's a trade-off because it will show up on the Spinitron pages without the header.
So if you're using your iframe like that, and then we go there, it looks better.
Yeah.
So that's why that gets done. There are other ways in which those styles have an effect, and going to spinitron.com/WOHM is not our top priority for you. Our top priority is that you have your website at your domain name, and we get that working. So if this website doesn't look ideal, Spinitron.com, it doesn't matter. It's not the top priority. We're trying to make it. We can compromise on that. That's not the big issue.
I mean,
I-
sorry to interrupt, but I don't know if anybody noticed that the Spinitron public pages are pretty vanilla, uninteresting, easy to customize. We don't want to interfere, and it's pretty white pages or
yes, it was designed to be sort of white label,
Yeah, white
and
label.
you can apply your styles to it. That's part of the plan. We
Yeah.
just make it. It was designed, and maybe it could have been done better, but it was designed to be easy to find, to be able to design your style sheets so that you can customize it, so you can find how to change colors and whatnot.
I have a
So
question
that's-
here.
yeah.
If it's good now, or do you want me to wait?
No, please go.
The paradox here is like the now playing and the widgets, they take you to Spinitron. So I was wondering if there's a way to create a conditional style rule so that it displays one way in Spinitron and it displays a different way on your website. Like,
So I got two answers to that question, and
okay,
so the two answers are both yes, but they're different kinds of yes.
okay,
So what we can do is add a style rule that is, you remember our widget? We put that on a web page in a, where was it? You can see it. Oh, great! Now we can do a trick there by putting that inside something else. It's probably already inside another container, right?
Yeah.
So once it's inside, let's just type one, for example, since you asked. So I will go a div, and I'll just give it a class equals something.
Right.
Right. And we put the close tag for that after the widget. Now on your web page, the code editor.
I can use that class to style that differently, do custom CSS on that class. Yeah, I gotcha. Okay.
So
cool.
If,
okay.
When something appears on the standard Spinitron page, it's not going to be enclosed by something.
Yeah.
Right? So then when we come to write the style rule, what we can do is dot something space.
Yeah. Okay.
Or whatever it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
You get the idea?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
So that's one answer. What time is it? 40. Okay. So I'm not going to save changes there because I don't think The other answer is something I wanted to talk about last of all. I guess we're going to skip the API. We won't have time for that. But last of all is the custom page layout, or custom layout, as we just call it, which is a piece of radical esoteric magic. So this, you see that, right? That's just a widget. And that hasn't been styled cleverly. It's just a widget. But let's click on that. And all of a sudden, this web page looks like the other web page, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
All right? Isn't that clever?
Yeah.
And if I go and have a look at what does the Western Songs web page look like, that fits too. It's
okay.
in the box and everything. Yeah. Now, let's be clear up here. Oh, that's the widgets.spinitron.com. That actually wasn't what I wanted to link to. Could do. All right, here's another one. It's in the right kind of box. Here's the program calendar. Right, but here's the trick. There's testradio.org. Then underneath that, there's www.testradio.org, and there's programs.testradio.org. Now, what happens if I just look at what programs.testradio.org is? It's just Spinitron.
So you created a subdomain for...
Well, it's an alias. It's just another name for the Spinitron web server.
I gotcha. Okay.
Right. Now let's go back here and say we'll go to test, and we'll go. See this delay, this special bit here. This is the magic spell. This is the magic that turns it on and off. Let's say I change that to a 0. I've got a regular, and it's the same thing as not having it there, right? Then I'm just on the landing page for I've got the normal stuff that we're all familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
But if I've got with the layout equals 1, which is required, then I get a different page layout.
Aha. Okay.
Now, how does that work? Well,
yeah, thank you. How does that work?
How does that work? It's here. It's in this page layout thing. I'm going to navigate to test, so I'm showing you the actual thing itself. If we go to the web customization for the test website, which is what we're looking at there, I've got an entire page layout here. All right, this is an entire page layout, and the chunk in the middle, that's the Spinitron content. Right, that's the part that's different. Well, it's not quite different for every page, but that's the part where if that's where I put this chunk of Spinitron content, right, that I can navigate around, and it's this is the Spinitron stuff, so on and so forth. Right, that if you create a page layout in Spinitron and put that marker in there, you can save that in there, and then you can turn it on and off with this magic spell that I'm sorry, I'm confusing everybody with my tabs. You can turn it on and off, but just by including that. Now, the trick then, if we go back to test Barton's webpage, we're on www here. The trick here is, can you see down in the corner, bottom corner of the URL for this link is it goes to programs.testradio.org/test calendar !layout equals 1. Yep. And by using a URL that says that includes !layout equals 1, then when a visitor navigates using that link, they're going to end up on with that layout turned on. So you turn it on and off simply by putting links to Spinitron using layout equals 1. And those will be included even here. See that? Layout equals 1.
Right. Got it at the bottom. Yeah, and the address.
Genius.
To the Spinitron page.
Is there documentation that shows how to do this process? Or I mean,
that's
this
exactly
video...
what this web page is.
Okay. Okay, got it.
This is the documentation. Imagine this with the radio stations, and you can read through this, and it's got the links. Plus, we've got the page source.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Great.
Which is so I've got the index.html. There's the web page, and there's the custom layout, and you can compare the two and find, oh look, that's the part. I cut a chunk out, so you can compare these two and see the chunk that I cut out.
Got it. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. I didn't know what I was looking at. I looked at this document on GitHub, but I was like, yeah, okay, gotcha. Thank you.
So yeah, you've got to read. You got some questions coming up.
Yeah.
So it's time for me to move to the questions anyway. So what have we got?
Yeah, we have a question. Our current programming calendar on our website. I was gonna. That's why I wanted to.
Yes. Well,
direct Tom's attention.
Have we addressed that, or you want to ask some more stuff on it?
Well, I don't think we've quite addressed it, or at least I didn't think we did. The question I have is very specific. On our last website, the programming calendar, I don't know, the way that it was coded, every time if I linked on an archive show, it would take me to a archive link, but the link was being generated through our website, and now I'm only able to do that, but it will only generate links that look like the programming calendar website. It's not like its own unique link, if that makes any sense.
Right, not. And in any case, even if it did make sense, I think this is a question that's probably best handled one-to-one. It's not going to be, the answer is not going to be very informative to the tutorial. So, but this is typical. As I said, we can give you this as I said in the introduction, we can do this sort of lecture type stuff where with information that should be of interest to a lot of stations. And then the next level is we've got to get into actually helping you do it. And that's going to end up being a station one-to-one thing, which is part of the standard service included in your fees.
Can you put your email address and phone number?
Okay, so we could you could help us customize things if we make a specific
That's
request.
what I meant.
Okay, cool.
That's what I meant at the beginning.
All right,
so
great.
Tom's going to put his contact info, his email address and phone number as well.
Great.
So I'm Tom at Spinitron.com, and my phone number is 857-210-3243. Right. So that's. There you go. So that's and feel free to contact me. This is, as I said, it was standard. It's included in your Spinitron fees. So this kind of service, at a certain point, you're supposed to have somebody that can do this stuff. But we will help them learn how to do it and answer specific questions. But I can't actually go and be responsible for your website.
We also had 2 other questions from the registration about Spinitron schedule color changes to differentiate types of shows.
Yes.
And similar from KCSB, customizing the appearance of iframes past the default views and styling them. So I think
we actually did the second one.
Yeah.
There's 2 places to put the CSS for your site. You style the iframe itself on your website. Everything else, you put that into the style sheet that's in the web customization section of the admin section once you're logged in as an admin to Spinitron. To the previous question, good question. There's style rules for that. You can do a lot with CSS. So in Spinitron, let's say you're logged in to Spinitron. We go to the
ZBC.
Where is it? I can't remember where it is. Where is it? Show categories. I found it. Yes. So in the admin menus, station settings, display, there's a chunk here called shows. You get to edit show categories. All right. Now you can set up different shows with these categories, and these categories will be available to you in the CSS. Sorry, in the markup. So you can then apply a style rule to them. So you can go and put into your you can put it into the style sheet here, or you can do it on your website. There are other ways to do it, which are detailed in that help page on the forum. So you can put style rules in a number of different ways. But basically, you can put style rules there so that if we take a page with, oh, for goodness sake, let's go to, test, right? Let's go here and we'll take a look at one of these, but we'll look at it and the programs here. Fine. So somewhere in here, if I inspect one of these, I will probably find, I'll make this bigger as well, right? Somewhere in here, if I poke around in the markup category music, see that? Right there, right? That one.
Yep.
That's what you're looking for. So you need to use that. Dot category music will select for shows that are set up for music. And that came from the display. It came from there. So you set up those categories. You set a category to, you set up that sets up a menu that you can set for shows, and I think they get copied across to the playlists that are created from the shows.
Yeah. You can show ZBC.
So to follow up,
it's a little bit of a chain of events that needs to work, but that I think does answer the question how we can color. In fact, yes, you're right, absolutely, Eva. Sorry, not Eva. Sorry, Spinitron.com WZBC, and let's go and look at their calendar. Kablooey.
Obviously, you can use different colors.
And you can set up your categories however you want. You can have a category for psychedelic music. You can have a category old timey music.
Yeah,
you can have a category for Texas cowboy music, and have different color for every one of them.
Can I also apply that to the now showing? So I have one like a feed for the upcoming shows for the talk and a feed for the upcoming shows for the music.
I think some station applied that it highlights the show that is currently on air.
Right. Okay. All right. I might ask that to you individually. That's what I'm looking to do. That's ultimately what I'm trying to do, because we have talk and music, so it makes it more complex. But I think from what I'm hearing, you're saying I can do that with using these the categories.
It was
Maybe.
Also styled.
Okay.
I think we're out of time. We're better go.
No. Any more questions?
Shall I review? Widgets. It's a little bit of, you put a div and a JavaScript that you copy paste from that website that which one is it? It's gone again. From this one, right? Remember this website?
Mm-hmm.
A widget is a div and a bit of JavaScript that you copy paste. And you might be done at that point with your widget. We've got a widget for the now playing show. We got a widget for the current playlist.
Excellent. Stephanie just says she added a widget to their website homepage during this workshop. Excellent. Yes, Jamie, we will send a link.
Yes,
to everyone who registered and who showed up. If you didn't register, but you are here, someone forwarded the registration link. Please send your email so I can also include you. Because otherwise, I will just send the registrants.
And upcoming JavaScript, the upcoming shows we can do as a widget. Those are available to you either using an iframe or a widget. Iframes, remember, are just another bit of copy paste, but they work differently. It's the content with the content. You've got to set the size of the thing, and then if you want to change the styles for it, you have to put them into Spinitron. You can't just include them in the style sheet for your own web page. All right. And then finally, there's the schedule, which is only doable in an iframe. Oh, there were questions about chat.
Yes. Can you also pull up, Stephanie, which station?
Oh.
Yeah. Pull up the website just to check the widget. Home Radio.
Home Radio, it's called. Home Radio. OHM Radio. That's the one we wanted. Did you put a website? Which page did you put it on?
It's right on the homepage. Keep scrolling, I think.
I need to turn off all my
oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah, where'd you put it?
Now playing that right there.
Excellent.
Yeah, very
fancy. See, everyone, living proof.
You don't need to be a web developer to make some of this stuff work.
Yeah,
There's the API. Excellent. If you're into coding, scripting using JavaScript or Python or whatever you're into, PHP, then you can do that with the API. And then there's the extraordinary magic of the custom layout, where you can transform all of Spinitron's public pages for your station and make them look like, make them look like your web pages. And there's another detail to that I mentioned. Remember that testradio.org, programs.testradio.org is a custom domain, right? Now, if we're going to host a custom domain for you, you can use spinitron.com. You don't have to use your own domain name. But if you do want a custom domain name and HTTPS, and you need an SSL certificate for it, and then you want us to do a virtual host with an SSL certificate, then there's extra fees. It's not much. It's like $5 for the virtual host and $5 for the SSL. But it's an administrative pain in the neck. So that's why we charge fees for it.
And you wanted to, the
And
last one was
question.
the chat
Chat.
function.
Okay, so about chat, really the only way to handle chat on your website is if we put the current playlist into an iframe, and that would be then, so let's say it's Spinitron, maybe WZBC has got a chat going, and they have a chat going on. Who's good with chats? What's the station that might have a chat? Give me a station quickly.
If you go to JFK's show on ZBC, he has a ton. He has a big one.
All right,
Fridays.
but he's not on air at the moment.
Oh, I see.
I was hoping for a live chat, but yeah, there's always one there. Now, the thing about the chat is that a chat room is always associated with a playlist and a radio show that happened, and it closes at the end of that radio program. Mm. So every radio program, every chat is tied to the playlist that it was made with, and the moderator that was in charge. So the DJ is the moderator of the chat. Now, for that reason, we've got thousands of chat rooms. You can't have a widget for chat standing on its own on your website. We don't do that. You can do stuff like that with other technologies, but Spinitron doesn't do that. Spinitron only does playlist chats, and there's good reasons for that to do with moderation. The chat closes when the playlist is over, when the radio program's over. And this has worked very, very well for us, so we're not going to change it. Now, that means, therefore, if you're going to display a chat on your website, you've got to display it together with the playlist. And that means you've got to display it together with, this chunk at the top here, the playlist header stuff. You don't need the station header stuff. You can get curd of that. But basically, the way to do that is you put this URL or the current playlist. The current playlist page. You can put that into an iframe. Then you'll get the chat as well, and plenty of people have done it. The other way to do it is to use the custom layout and just use this page with chat.
Yeah,
so
that's probably easiest.
And we're already a little over time, but basically you can put the current playlist together with its chat box into an iframe. And I don't really think that we can do a lot better than that. There's no point in trying to put a chat into a widget on its own, because then it would be divorced from the playlist, and we don't do that. And so if you're going to have a playlist with its chat, custom layout or put the whole page into an iframe.
Any other questions?
No, thank you so much for doing this. This is great. It's been super helpful for me.
Feel free to contact. Tom is the best person to contact regarding web integration. I don't want to chicken out from the responsibility, but he really is the more knowledgeable between the two of us, and he will help you if you need anything specific. Also, I welcome any further ideas about webinars. We try to do it semi-regularly, but sometimes it's 2 months, sometimes it's we're still beginners for this.
Yeah, we're looking into doing it about every couple of months if we can keep the topics
fresh and current.
If we can think of something to talk about.
Yeah.
So
if you have ideas for it, feel free to let me know. Happy to consider it in any ways, and by all means, contact us anytime you have questions.
Yeah, I'll reiterate that. You have Tom's info on the page, spinitron.com / I believe contact, or it's on the website. You can find all of our contact information as well. Forum.spinitron.com is also, you saw Tom click around it. It's a really great resource, active community there. And as we said, we're going to be trying to do these more. We'll probably put these on pause as we hit the summer months. We know we have a lot of college stations. And I would be remiss to also, if we're talking about college stations, if you are a college station, RIYL.FM, project we just partnered with Emily White and her team to put together some college station specific kind of wrapped style data, sort of really fun ways to sort of see what spins are going on with Emily and her team. If you're a college station, please check us out. It's really cool. If you're not a college station, I promise you won't be, you're not alone. It's just for colleges for now, but as you saw, there's a lot of great things that you can do with your data here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, RIYL.FM if you want to check that out. But again, thank you everybody for this. Thank you, Tom, for a wonderful walkthrough here. And we hope to stay in touch and we hope to hear from you.
Thank you for coming. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.